This is Coogan Cassis for ITV TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted.
It's been a long time.
It has. Do you know what?
I feel good that I like it because
we don't overkill it.
The problem is that a few months ago, I felt the heat on me, but because I was really the only promoter out there, I had to just constantly talk and feed you, and now you're whoring yourselves out to all these little newcomers, all these tadpoles swimming around in my pond, and then it's I don't have to talk as much, so I'm actually enjoying. I'm gonna go low key from now, so that when you get an interview from me, it's golden, rather than it's Eddie again. Look, here he is, fat nuts, shouting his mouth off. Now I'm going to be a little bit more low key.
Why do people always assume that if there's a 2 or 3 week gap?
Probably because we normally speak twice a week, and we haven't spoken since before Christmas, I don't think.
I think the last time was at the DeGALE fight. Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So then, January the 14th. So over a month since we last had an interview. It's unbelievable.
I know. And people just assume just because it's that kind of relationship, if they're not on camera, on IFL, they're not.
We are much more professional than if we did have some beef, we'd still get our job done for the fans.
Would you? If you had a problem with me, would you still do the interviews? Depending on what it was.
I don't problem with people.
No.
I'm not really that kind of
Do you know what's weird though?
I don't like it. He's pissed me off. I'm not going to talk to him anymore.
We've never had an argument ever.
Depends what you call an argument.
No, but when have we had an argument?
That's because you're normally asleep when I'm talking to you. So there have been times when I thought we were having an argument, but then I've turned around and you were actually asleep in the back of the car.
1-0 Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah. Loads has happened. Obviously, I do want to start with something that's really tickling my
balls.
Yeah, balls. We'll call it balls if you like. Brook and Errol Spence.
You love that shit,
loving it. And I'll be honest with you, I was one of the people that didn't think that fight would happen. I thought he'd move up to 154, come down from middleweight, whatever you want to call it.
A lot of people said, he's going to duck Spence. He went up to middleweight and boxed Golovkin. So that's
you ain't ducking no one.
No, exactly. Yeah. So for me, I felt like he'd make middleweight more comfortable. So I said to him, let's look at £154. The problem is two things. One, there's not huge fights at £154. But secondly, he didn't want to give up his title. And when people start saying to him, you're going to duck Spence, and even Khan came out and says, well, go and fight Spence then, because he thought there's no way Brook will fight Spence. Brook turned around and said, excuse my French, fuck it. I'll fight Spence. I don't give a monkeys about fighting Spence. I'll go and knock him out. Watch me. And that's his mentality. And as soon as he said that to me, there was no turning back. And I didn't even try and make him change his mind. And actually, the more I think about it now, let's do it. Let's go and become the #1 welterweight in the world. And by the way, let's do it at Bramall Lane. How'd you like me now, bitch? Right? So that's how you doing? You all right? Sorry about that. That's really the mentality that we've got now. We believe Kell Brook's the best welterweight in the world. And I think Errol Spence might be #2. He might be #1. I don't think so. But what a fight. I mean, the response worldwide for that fight has been sensational. And it's just another little crowd pleaser. It's another little barn burner from the Matchroom Library in 2017.
How difficult was it to sort of maybe, I don't know, convince the wrong way, but right way to say it, Errol Spence to come over here for a start?
From the start, it's 75-25 in the first bid, so it's very difficult for them to win the bid. So, but we still had to come out with an amount of money that they felt was fair, which we've done. And now it's all about, as you know, just been in the car, been at Bramall Lane this morning, just trying to make everything work, make the date work. Favourite date of May 27th, probably. And speaking to the club and speaking to the council. And I want to make this fight at Bramall Lane. I've talked about a Bramall Lane fight for a long time. And what an experience it would be, what an occasion. And, it's really on the to-do list.
Just going back to Khan, obviously Khan wrote a series of tweets recently. And the one relating to Brook was, the Brook fight happens when I say it happens, basically.
AMIR Khan needs to understand that fans make fights, fans pay wages. Whether it's putting their bums on seats and spending their money on ticket money or tuning in to watch fights that are reflective of TV revenue and rights. You don't show such arrogance and disrespect the fans. What that phrase should have said was, the Brook fight happens when the fans want it. The fans do want it. Not the Brook fight happens when I say it happens. That's just disrespectful, in my opinion, to fight fans. you've got to make the fights that the fans want. And I know they don't always get made. But when the fans want a fight, when the fans demand a fight, when you have a chance to make a fight which British fight fans would go down in history, this fight, you make it. And when there's a lot of money on the table, you make the fight. So I really despise that tweet. And, you know, I get on all right with AMIR, but I think from a PR perspective, he is disastrous. Read the responses to the tweets. And, you know, call them haters or whatever you want. Some call them haters, I call them members of the public who pay our wages. And, you know, I hear debates about the haters and this, yeah. And Twitter gives you a platform to have your say, probably more so than you would if you were standing here now. But they're still your customers. They're still a potential ticket holder. There's still a potential viewer on the sofa at home. So love them or hate them, that's your market, that's your customers. So you can't ignore them. If some bloke says, you're a prick, or I'm a prick, he might be right. But it's still a member of the public who could potentially be watching our product, your product as well. You don't have to like him, you don't have to agree with him, you don't have to acknowledge him, but he's still there, isn't he? They're not pretend people, they're not bots. So, you know, you have to remember, the only way you're going to keep this sport fresh, the only way you're going to grow this sport is giving fans what they want. What the fans want, they want Brook Khan. What I will say is, what surprised me, I mean, I knew it was an incredible fight. What has pleased me so much is the response for Brook Spence. I prefer this fight. This is actually a better fight. It is a better fight.
Is it a harder fight?
It's a much harder fight than AMIR Khan. Because it's the unknown as well, isn't it? We don't know if Errol Spence is just very good or the next superstar of the sport. What we know about AMIR Khan is he's very talented, he's got great fast hands, but he can get knocked out. And there's no blueprint to beat AMIR Khan, you've got to hit him on the chin. But he's an excellent fighter as well.
Khan always used to say, pre-Golovkin, you know, Kel, go and get in with someone, go and fight someone, and we'll talk. But then that happened.
He also said, go and win a belt.
Yeah, before that it was, yeah.
Go and win a belt, go and fight someone. Okay, go to America and beat Sean Porter to become world champion. Come back, defend it, fight Golovkin, now fight Errol Spence. So we're running out of excuses here, aren't we? I mean, what do you want him to do next? Stand on one foot and wipe your ass with a bit of sandpaper? I mean, I don't know. It's like, what else do we have to do to get the fight? And it comes about, and after this fight, maybe we turn around and say, see you later, mate. We're going to go and fight the winner of Garcia Thurman or something. I don't know. But it's not up to AMIR Khan to tell Kell Brook what to do to get the fight. He went out, he won a world title, he boxed Golovkin, now he's boxing Errol. I mean, you know.
When Kell beat Porter,
now we're going to talk about this. Now the stick I get about this is, why do you keep talking about AMIR Khan all the time? Well, because Coogan asked me about
I asked you. Yeah. When he beat Porter, which heavily people were backing Porter to beat Kell Brook at the time. But nearly 3 years on, is this the sort of win that sort of puts him back to where he was 2.5, 3 years ago?
No, not really. This is a much more high-profile win. At the time, Porter was a decent name, but he didn't have the same sort of scare factor that Errol Spence has now, for example. But, you know, we all know what happened to Kell. He nearly lost his leg, he nearly lost his life, and come back from that. You know, he had a Jojo Dan, Frankie Gavin, Kevin Bizier. Not the greatest resume of all time. Few reasons for that. Comes back, fights Gennady Golovkin. All right, now hopefully this is pumping up our resume. Now fights Errol Spence. When Kell's fit and ready and strong, he wants the big fights. He's the one that chose the Errol Spence fight. And I know he's mandatory, but he had plenty of options. Move up to 154 quite easily, you know, and he's got every reason to do it as well. So he wants to fight Errol Spence. He wants to give the fans what they want. He wants to be in the fights where people go, wow, I love that fight. And I hope everyone watching this video respects him for that, and respects him for the fact that he wants to test himself in the biggest fights and give the fans, you, the paying public, the people that put their hand in their pocket, great fights. And that's what he's done in the Errol Spence fight.
Are we talking Skybox office?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to bring Errol Spence over here, to give Brook what he deserves to be in this fight, yeah, we are.
So, have you got other options to Bramall Lane?
Yeah, got the O2. We've got that on June the 3rd held as well. Already booked for a London fight, so.
What are you going to do with that if that...
Already put a fight on there.
Anything in mind?
Loads.
The return of Dylan White?
White Chisora too?
Oh!
I don't know. I mean, Dylan's going to be out around that date. That is his date, June the 3rd. So.
Yeah.
But originally that was going to be another box office fight on June the 3rd, but now it looks like it's going to be May the 27th.
But as in regards to Bramall Lane Sheffield, is Bramall Lane your only option in Sheffield, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The arena only holds 10,000, I think, 12, 11,000. It's not big enough.
Okay. When will that be formally announced? As in,
probably the end of the week.
Getting Spence over here?
Yeah, for the presser, yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff.
The truth against the special one.
Great stuff. Man down. Hashtag man down.
Strap season.
Strap season. Do you know about strap season?
Not really. I see everyone saying it. What's it, just a belt, isn't it?
Strap season. Alright, anyway, we'll move on from strap season.
Tell me about strap season.
Well, it's strap season, isn't it?
What, belt? What, strap? What, a Glock, a gun, or what?
Did you say a Glock?
Yeah, it's a Glock, isn't it?
It's a Glock in your Rari.
What is it? What?
Strap season, isn't it?
Strap as in gun or strap as in belt?
Strap.
What?
I think it's like an underlying...
Okay, I'm not as clued up on this street talk.
Ask Javante Davis about it.
I'll have to speak to him.
Right. Hull this week. First of all, Tommy Cole's fighting Raheem Noble.
Correct,
Just explain to us, obviously, what happened with Kofi Yates.
Kofi Yates had some medical issues, so he's out. Raheem Noble's in. I know Raheem, he's a good fighter. Great opportunity for him. And one that he really has to win. Tommy Coyle, must-win fight. Noble's a little bit fresher than the guys he's been facing. Probably a little bit more awkward. Probably a little bit more hungrier. And Tommy Coyle's got to win and look good because the 140-pound division is exciting now, and I want to get Tommy Coyle in those big fights. So, big fight for him. Luke Campbell, he's in with Mexican Jairo Lopez. A couple of good wins. He's actually stable mates with Ray Vargas, so they're over together. It's a WBC silver title. Looking to get Campbell a big fight on the Wembley card straight after this. And then the fight of the night, of course, Gavin McDonnell for the WBC super
unbelievable
story.
Well,
it is an unbelievable story, and you know, I was talking to someone today, and you know, we had some decent money on the table to go to Mexico for this fight. I just felt, you know, whole arena can do strange things to a man. When you get in those changing rooms, when you walk out, and it's a bear pit. I love the whole ice arena. It only holds 3,000, but I tell you what,
I like that.
It's proper down and dirty, and I'm sorry, whole arena, if you're watching this, but in a way that it's raw, you know. And the atmosphere. Do you remember when Curtis Woodhouse beat
Darren Hamilton?
Yeah, and Coyle fought Bruzuela.
Yeah.
Some of the best atmosphere I've felt in there. And Gavin's done, I don't know, 600 tickets. There's a lot of people coming from Doncaster. And if you're going to beat someone like Ray Vargas, who is a brilliant fighter, what, 27, 29-0, 25, 27 knockouts, whatever it is, you've got to make him feel uncomfortable. You've got to make him open the door to that change room and go, what is this? And you've got to make him walk out with people standing through security, screaming and shouting, so that when he gets into the ring, his mind's not quite on the job, because we need every advantage we can get in this fight. I'll tell you, Gavin McDonnell goes and wins this WBC title, and he can do it, by the way. It's not like he's a huge underdog. Yes, he's an underdog. What a victory this would be for hard work, determination, and just desire to achieve. A kid that he won the Central Area title. It was a massive achievement. In the same arena, I think it was on the same night, we did Gavin McDonnell against Lee Wood for the British title. He was behind the first couple of rounds. He went on, he stopped Lee Wood. I tell you, that was, I've never seen a man so comfortable just with his achievements in life. That was it for him. You know what I mean? I can't believe I won a British title. Goes back to the same arena to win the world title, the WBC world title. Talk about changing your life. And this is the great thing about boxing. It's you and another man having a fight to get what you want in your life. What a great sport, isn't it? It's not like I'm going to run out on a field with 10 colleagues and pass it around and I can duck and dive over here and hopefully I'll nip up and beat you. You're going to have a fight with a man to change the roadmap of your entire life, to give you complete bliss knowing you've achieved your goal to become world champion, to bring on the major paydays that are going to mean financially you'll never struggle, your children will never struggle, and you got that chance on Saturday night. You've got to beat a tall, lanky geezer from Mexico who can punch hard and has plenty of talent, but all you got to do is beat him in Hull in front of 3,000 mental fans. And that national anthem plays before that fight. Let's stand up and let's be patriotic. Don't underestimate what British spirit and an atmosphere like that and a lion's den can do to turn a fight. Even if you're sitting at home, let me feel the energy through the screen. Let's get another British world champion on Saturday.
Absolutely. Right, let's do a little round-up now. You're announcing the fight for Martin Murray. A very good fight for Martin Murray very soon. When are you announcing it?
Where are we now? Wednesday, maybe? There'll be a press conference in Thursday to announce... Sorry. There'll be a press conference next Monday before the BELLEW-HAYE press conference. And this will be announced in the next 24 hours. But next Monday is an open press conference to the public. Look at you. You've already got a wood on, haven't you? Talking about this. 5:30 at the Hilton Hotel. David Hay, Tony Bellew, Dave Coldwell, myself, Shane McGuigan, and Derry Matthews and O'Hara Davis. So don't miss it. Get there nice and early. It's going to be absolutely rammed. And before we do that, we're going to have a press conference to announce our April the 22nd show, which will be at Echo Arena, which will feature Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, Masha Dodd, Scott Fitzgerald, Tom Farrell, Stephen Smith, and a number of others. It's going to be a big Liverpool show and a great fight for Martin Murray. I think potential to be one of the great fights of all time. Not fight of the year, one of the great fights of all time.
No clues. You can't. I know. I know.
What do you think?
I think it's a great fight. I do. Genuinely. People, can I give them a little clue?
No, because there's,
Well,
go on then.
I've interviewed him in the last 9 months.
Okay.
Could be anyone.
Random. Yeah.
Could be anyone. Can we talk about Scott Quigg?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been released now. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, he's going to train with Freddie Roach.
He's going to move to America.
In America. Can you explain why?
Yeah, I just, Scott's a real. It's a tough one really because I'm very close with Scott and I'm very close with Joe Gallagher. And Scott's a tremendous fighter, and Joe Gallagher is one of the best coaches in the world. They haven't fallen out. They haven't dislike each other. Scott's just, been to America a few times, had a trip there recently, and just wants to freshen up his scene in his life. And he's going to go and train with Freddie Roach. So, it was amicable. I think it's a move which is going to see Scott make an assault on the featherweight division. He could be boxing on the Wembley card as well in a big fight. So it was a tough one really because, like I say, I'm close to both guys, and it's nice when a split happens that is amicable. Where both guys go, no, I understand. Shake hands and
that's how it was for this one. Yeah.
And that's nice, but still quite uncomfortable because of my relationship with Scott and my relationship with Joe as well. Two great blokes, and I wish each of them.
So Scott's going to go and base himself in LA.
And train, yeah.
Okay.
I think he'll go out there soon, and then he'll come back 10 days, 2 weeks before his next fight, which could well be on the Wembley card.
Have you got any more updates on either of those cards? Is there any more fights to be added on to
there's
Bellew and Hay?
Well, there's 3 more fights on Bellew and Hay, and one might be released by the time this goes out actually, but most likely they'll come tomorrow. A good British title fight, and a big British name as well, and a young British name coming through, so they'll be announced. And people say to me, "Oh, you're leaving it late, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, they've been made for a while, but it's just a case of getting the timings right with Sky, You know, you've got 2 of those fights will be shown live. The 2 that I mentioned. Then you've got Katie Taylor. You've got O'Hara against Derry. You've got Paulie Malignaggi against Sam Eggington, and Cheeseman on as well. Greg Glover. So it's a busy night. I think 9 or 10 fights. So.
And the Wembley card
all in the process now, really.
Yeah.
Just sort of.
We've got a bit of time on that one.
Yeah, Wembley runs a bit different. The boxing will start about 6:30, and we'll probably have 7, 8, 9 for 3 major title fights, with a couple of young kids floating and debuting, and then the main one.
Ring walk for that, Joshua
Ring walk
Klitschko?
will be 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, just before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So that should be done by 11,
yeah.
either way.
Could be done by 10:01.
Just, about your new signings as well. You've been obviously very busy in that department as well.
Yeah,
Josh Taylor.
Yeah, Joe Cordino, Lawrence Okoli. 3 young Olympians who I'm really excited about, and for a number of reasons.
Josh Kelly, sorry, not Josh Taylor.
Did I say Josh Taylor?
No, I said it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Josh Taylor might come, you never know. I'm only joking, Barry. I like these guys a lot because they've got real talent. I love their attitude. I love their look, their style, everything. Cordina will probably debut at Wembley, and Okoli and Kelly might jump on those as well. But first, Kelly will debut April 15th in Glasgow, and Okoli just working out at the moment because he had a niggle, but looks like he'll debut on the Crawler card on March 25th. So I'm excited. I love starting off with these guys and seeing where we go. You know, you've got, like I said, the last cycle, Olympic cycle, GB podium fighters. You've got Anthony Joshua won a world title, Yafai won a world title, Callum Smith's about to fight for a world title, Luke Campbell's top 5 in the world, Scotty Cardle, Martin Ward, both British champions, Gamal Yafai, Commonwealth champion. So they've all gone on, and these guys, what we give them is the perfect opportunity, the perfect roadmap to realise your dreams. It's so easy. There's no disruptions. You get to box whenever you want on the biggest cards in the country with the best broadcaster in the country, and it's all put on a plate for you to go and succeed. And the only reason you won't succeed is because you won't be good enough. And for a sportsman to know that you have that kind of opportunity is priceless. And now people have got various options of where to go. You've got 3 or 4 different broadcasters, 3 or 4 different promoters. But in my opinion, no one can give you the pure opportunity to succeed like we can. There is no bumps in the road. The path is clear, and it's up to you to go and achieve and go and keep winning.
Have you got an update on Callum Smith and DeGALE?
Yeah, purse bids were put back. They were due last Friday. We put them back a week because we're still talking. So that'll be this Friday, and I don't think they'll be changed again. So, and I think it will go to purse bids.
Okay, so you're looking at maybe June for that?
Yep, June, and we've got a meeting with Anfield next week. I want to do that fight at Anfield.
Think DeGALE will come over here?
Well, if he loses the purse bid, he's got no choice.
Spoke to them, DeGALE's about coming over here before. They don't want to come over.
I mean, look at what they did with the Andre DeGALE purse bid. What Heyman paid for that, you never know. You know.
Okay.
Is it live or what time? Now, right, we'll cut this and I'll pick it up again, yeah?
Just picking this back up because you had to go and do your Sky
I
Live.
had to do some important ones.
You say that all the time, but you know we're important. Come on, bruv. Respect. Yeah, you've announced a show March 17th at York Hall, NXTGEN.
Not a show, a series.
A series, yeah, explain this.
NXTGEN. So basically, we are signing a number of quality young fighters, and we already have a number of quality young fighters who we're sort of spreading around the country, boxing on Sky Sports bills. Sometimes they're getting televised, sometimes they're not. Great to be part of big shows about learning, different environments, different pressures, different crowds. But I wanted to create a series where that younger generation can be in title fights and can get constant exposure and box more frequently. So NXTGEN is all about our young fighters boxing on Sky Sports, live on Facebook as well, in the interim, probably from about 6 o'clock till the first one till 10 p.m. And then we'll have 3 live fights on Sky Sports 1. So huge audience on Facebook, profile as well and exposure across linear on Sky Sports 1, and a chance to be in a championship environment in real fights. So that's outside of Saturday night fight nights, because straight away all the cynics go, oh, what, you're replacing Saturday night fight nights with NXTGEN? No, it's more boxing for Sky Sports viewers, and more importantly, it's a better chance for us to continually develop the best young talent in the country. First one will be in York Hall, looking to do one in Wales, looking to do one in the North East as well. So 4 or 5 in 2017.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it'd be good. I like York Hall shows.
Yeah, I do. Less complicated. Do you know what? Because we haven't spoken a month, haven't really had a chance to catch up with you on, you know, stuff that we at IFL love talking about. You know, the Cold War between you and the Eubank. The Cold War. First of all, I suppose the thing we took after Eubank's win over Quinlan was the fact that they were sort of vocally targeting James DeGALE. What was your take on all that?
Well, it's like, there's as much chance of that fight happening as you wearing decent trainers. Now, pan on those.
No.
Don't say no, because now you have to, because people need to see them.
No.
Just do it.
I haven't got the best trainers on today.
The best trainers. They're like Adidas. They're like the football boots you wear on AstroTurf. That is how bad they are.
You think I'm going to mug myself off?
What
These are my smoking trainers, anyway.
So you imagine the negotiations between James DeGALE and Chris Eubank Jr. What split would Chris Eubank Jr. want? Probably something ridiculous like 50-50, or even in his favour. So, no, I don't think that fight's going to happen next. James has got a mandatory, which, you know, and an injury, more importantly. He's just had his septum operated on. So we're talking about his next step, but I think it's very, very unlikely, unless Eubanks comes to the table with sense, and which is like straight out the window. But I do think it could be a big fight down the line.
Massive fight.
Massive fight.
Okay, what is your situation with DeGALE? Just finishing up on that.
Nothing. Our contract ended, and we're talking. He's told me he wants to work with me. I've got some box office dates for him on Sky. Why wouldn't you want to take him? It's going to make you more money than you're going to earn anywhere else. And he likes the platform, he likes the channel. We'll see.
We shall. What did you make of the whole ITV pay-per-view debut?
I didn't catch it live, but I watched it. Every time I clicked on social media, someone had it up on a stream or an Instagram live, so you couldn't really avoid it. I think one Facebook stream had like 100,000 views on it. I thought, what did I think? I really enjoyed the David Price fight. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought Ryder done well. Obviously Kid Galahad was supposed to be in a proper fight, that didn't happen. And I thought Eubank against Quinlan was what it said on the tin. It was a 200-1 on shot for Chris Eubank Jr. and he pummeled Quinlan, who was an 11-1 novice. Who, you know, Eubank's a good fighter. He doesn't have the power, which I think anyone in boxing knows. You don't hit someone like he hits people with and don't take them out. But what he has got is a tremendous work rate, and I think he's a real talent. From a show perspective, they didn't sell out. It only held 3,000. It looked quite pretty. It was a small hall show.
Do you know anything about numbers?
No. I don't know. I mean, I've heard 60,000. Someone else said 80,000. The main problem they had was people going on Sky and ordering via the red button, which you can't do. They don't have that facility or that technology.
Online.
Yeah, so it's very. I mean, listen. With what they've got, it's very difficult to make it a success. But good luck to them. Hope you're going to get so many pay-per-view opportunities now in this country. As a consumer, you might not be very happy to hear that, but everybody's trying to do it. It's not just ITV and Sky. It's BT will be trying to have a go. I'm sure there's independent platforms that will be trying to have a go. So all we have to do is make sure we're the dog's bollocks, which we are. We're on another level to anyone else. So when you spend your money, you want to make sure that you get value for money. And that's all we can do. And you'll have a choice whether you buy it or don't buy it. And there'll be other pay-per-views. I guess they're looking to do Eubank again. in April or May on pay-per-view, and sure other fights as well. And we've got ours, Bellew-HAYE, Joshua Klitschko, and then Spence against Brook. That'll be our offerings, and when we do July or whatever, but you're going to get a lot of pay-per-view events coming up.
Can't you do like a pay-per-view pass for the year?
Maybe, I don't know.
So
Or like a subscription.
Yeah, like 20 quid for the year. Get all your.
Steady, that's cheap, isn't it?
20 quid for the year. Get all your pay-per-views.
I guess you just don't know. I mean, it's not a case of we're not. This might surprise you, but we're not like, what's the next pay-per-view event? It's just if you can make that fight. Some are obviously pay-per-view. It's not like we have to deliver 4, 5, 6, 7 a year. If there are 6 pay-per-view events in a year, will we do 6? Yeah, probably. Will we do 8? No, definitely not. But it's not. Like I said, everybody's going to be trying to do pay-per-view. There's going to be a massive, massive overkill of pay-per-view events in this country. It's what's about to happen. And we got to make sure we're the daddy. That when you're going to spend your money on pay-per-view, do it on Matchroom and on Sky. And at the moment, we're doing that.
Well, your next 3 are okay. So
thanks, mate.
Let's come back to David Price. Obviously, a very, very disappointing, devastating night for David Price against.
I mean, I say I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Obviously,
it
was heartbreaking to see. But I said to Callum and those guys, I feel like David Price has got a future in the sport, but it's whether he wants to box at that level. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought he boxed quite nicely. I mean, he just wasn't fit and he ran out of gas. That was the problem. But he was boxing quite well. I felt like he was more aggressive. He traded a few times. He showed some heart in the fight. When he come back and he knocked him down. But he was just too tired. But he's quite exciting to watch, isn't he? Because he's got the power, but he's also got the frailties. Do you know what I mean? So to watch, that's quite exciting because he can knock you out, he can get knocked out. But whether he wants to base his future on being exciting for those reasons is probably not ideal. But I'm just telling you as a fan, that was fight of the night, wasn't it?
It was a good fight, obviously. Yeah. That thought of him, obviously, his defeat overtakes the fact that it was a good fight, I think. But it depends on what side you're watching it from. But did you, after he lost, did you revert back to December when he was being touted as a potential opponent for Joshua?
I think.
And think about that?
I kind of felt on the Price fight, and I think that fight justified our decision, that it's kind of a no-win. I felt like as soon as Joshua hits Price on the chin, it's over. And listen, Price can punch and he is dangerous, but what credit is he going to get from, bang bang, it's all over, and everyone goes, oh, you knew Price was chinny, you knew he was a weak, so you couldn't really win, could you? And Josh phoned me up after the Price fight and sort of said, I can't believe these people were calling for me to fight him. Like you should know what's going to happen in our fight. But I feel for Price, and I think he's a lovely bloke, and I do think that he was improving in the fight. He looked all right, but he just ran out of gas again.
I hope he comes back. I like Big David.
So I think he can be in really exciting fights in the division, but at a level where I'm not sure that he'll have the desire to operate, that's all.
Okay, back to London?
Back to London.
And then all about Hull this week?
Hull, and then the big one next week.
No, the big one is Gavin McDonnell winning the world title this week.
That's big, but Bellew-HAYE is obviously bigger. But I'm so excited for Hull. We haven't been there for a year and a half.
I love our little hotel.
I do. I love the little hotel, the Village Hotel in Hull. Shout out to the Village Hotel in Hull. Great little bar there, great gym. Real nice atmosphere in there, isn't it?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you know what's like? I'm not saying there's nothing going on in Hull, because obviously it's a city of culture. But when you take an event there, they're really pleased that it's there. It's a nice place to stage an event. Because the response from the people, they really get behind it, they enjoy it, they're engrossed in it. Yeah.
Feeling it. Eddie Hearn, have you got anything else to add?
No, just get behind Gavin McDonnell on Saturday. Another British champion, British world champion in the making. 10 PM Saturday night is the time. Whole arena is the place.
What, live from 10?
No, we'll be live from 8, but I'm
Right.
saying the fight's going to be at 10 o'clock. Sky Sports, baby. All day, every day.